In today's epic video,
Curtis and I have been talking about this game for like literally 3 years.
there are highs
Oh, there is a god!
and crushing lows.
The gentleman didn't die. How?
Can I defeat my arch nemesis and claim the title of better than my friend?
I really needed that. I needed like that.
Or lose and never hear the end of it?
It felt like I won the game in one dice roll.
Hi, I'm Scott the Miniature Maniac, and welcome to the long-awaited episode 2 of Kill Your Friends. We're playing our favorite miniature war game, A Song of Ice and Fire, and the friend that I'm killing today is Curtis.
Well, that remains to be seen.
Everyone has their friend who is their gaming kryptonite, and for me, that's Curtis. Curtis and I became friends in high school, and back then it was all about RTSs and MOBAs.
I know it's only been since high school, but it just feels like it's been, like he's just always been a staple in my life.
Before we get too deep into the game, let's take a close look at the army and also learn how to play the game of A Song of Ice and Fire.
This is A Song of Ice and Fire. It's a miniature war game wherein two players compete head-to-head for tactical supremacy. The victory conditions are determined by the scenario that you pick, and in today's video, we decided to play the classic Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, there are 5 points on the board, and you get a point for each one you control at the end of a round. Each point also has a little benefit that it grants. In addition to this, in every scenario in Song, you get a point when you slay an enemy unit. This rule is called Victory by Combat. The first player to reach 10 points wins the game. But how do you go about doing that? Players activate units back and forth until everyone has had a say. There are combat units that accomplish the dirty work on the field of battle, and non-combat units that represent outside forces impacting the ongoing conflict. There are a couple of basic activations you'll see throughout today's video, so let's go over a few now. Combat units in the game can traverse the field of battle with a maneuver action, which starts with a pivot and then a move up to your speed stat and another pivot. Where your units face matters in Song because it determines what you can see, which is indicated by the lines on these movement trays. You can also move twice that distance with a march action, but you can't pivot beforehand, so make sure you're set up correctly. If you want to engage in glorious hand-to-hand combat, you need to charge your foe, which is accomplished by rolling a 6-sided die and adding your speed stat. If the cumulative total is less than the distance between you and your enemy, your charge has failed. But otherwise, you've succeeded, and now you get to swing big. The number of dice you roll is determined by the number of ranks your unit has at least one model in. For this example, the Silence Men will get to roll 7 dice because they have at least one model in all 3 ranks. The number you need to roll is listed right next to your attack value as well, so a 3 or higher. If you rolled higher than a 1 while charging, you also get to reroll any missed hits, which is a rule that I love. Note that you might have successfully charged with a die roll of a 1, but this is considered to be disorderly and does not grant you rerolls. Sad times. Your opponent then gets to roll a save for each successful hit. If by the end of this process, some enemies are successfully murderized, they must now make a panic check. To do this, roll 2 6-sided dice and a special morale die that is 6-sided but only has values 1 through 3 on it. The goal is to roll above or equal to your morale stat with the 2 6-sided dice added up. If you fail, use a number of models equal to the special morale die. In this case, the Dreadfort Spearmen have failed their panic check and will suffer 2 wounds. We've now completed an entire charge action, which included how all attacking works as well. If you see a bow and arrow icon on your weapon stats and not a sword, that means you have a ranged attack. If you have 1 chevron, that means you have short range, or 6 inches. And if you see 2, that means you have long range, or 12 inches. Once your unit has activated, they are done for the round. They may have other ways of doing things in the game, but they've officially taken their turn. An example of something that you might be able to do is an order, which is signified by a green horn on the unit's card. These abilities are often used once per round. An example would be Charging Volley, which allows the Bolton Bastard Girls to make a ranged attack and then immediately charge, and yes, It's pretty good. But what about those non-combat units? The song has a feature called the Tactics board, and when you place an NCU on the board, you get to influence the battle. Each thought is pretty self-explanatory, like the combat zone lets you guessed it, make an attack. You'll see the other zones in action throughout the video. NCUs often do more than just take up space on the tactics board, however. For example, Ramsay Snow has an influence ability, which means that when he gets played on the board, he also gives a unit a special buff. The last thing I want to mention before we head into the game is your tactics deck. Each faction in the game has a deck of 20 cards they'll draw and use throughout the game. 14 faction cards and 6 commander-specific ones. At the start of a round, you can discard and draw up to 3 cards with a max hand size of 5, and they can be played whenever their trigger text allows. Kraken's Wrath is played when I am rolling dice in combat, but before they are rolled, for example. That should be enough for now. Let's check out the armies that are waging war today.
When I was building my list for this game, I had adaptability in mind. I didn't want to feel like I was pigeonholed into specifically being offensive or only playing the objective. I wanted to kind of feel the situation in the game and be able to adapt. And I think that flayed men are a great crutch to be able to do exactly that, because I can be very offensive with them. They've got a very nice offensive charge ability, but they can also be very tanky. They can sit on objectives with their 3+ armor and their nice morale, and they can just kind of sit there and hold objectives.
I love Greyjoy in Song of Ice and Fire, not only for their piratical aesthetic, but also because they seem to have an identity, a gaming identity, which means that they have a style that they want to play, and it's very obvious. And I really love that in games. It makes you feel like you own the faction and they're special and unique to you. Because I love Iron Makers so much, my list today is featuring a big old fat unit of Iron Makers, of course, and who else to command them than the Eric Iron Maker on his chair, so fat he can't get up. All right, with a better understanding of the rules, the armies, and the bragging rights that are at stake here, let's be honest, no one wants to lose to their friends. Let's get into the game.
Round 1. Scott, you will have first turn.
All right, and I think I'll get us kicked off here with a very exciting NCU activation, taking the letters with
No
Asha.
one would have seen that coming.
Very original activation. I get to take Asha's card and influence a unit, which increases their morale. And then, because I took letters, I get to draw 2 cards and put a condition token on one of your units, and I'll put weakened on that unit of flayed men.
Normally I get the first turn, so I'm kind of sad to see the weakened on my unit instead of yours, but...
You got enough token distribution, okay? I gotta put out at least 1 or 2.
Don't spoil it yet. The Bold and Tactic deck is actually pretty good. There's a lot of token generation, which is always really, really fun and very, very strong. At least it feels strong in the game. And then the specific commander I was running adds on to that with even more token generation, as well as some shenanigans with controlling you and when you use your NCUs, which not a lot of tactics decks get to manipulate.
I have a start of your turn activation, if I may. I'm gonna use Eric Iron Maker's order called Divide the Spoils. He's allowed to target a unit in short range and move tokens from that unit to another unit. And so I will take this one over here and I will put it on the Silenced Men.
Pillage tokens for Greyjoy have a faction-wide benefit. The first token on any given unit gives it +1 morale. And then the second token on any given unit gives it +1 attack. And then beyond that, most units in the game, especially combat units, get extra benefits once they get a couple of tokens.
We're not gonna get into combat, so there's no point in playing Ramsay Snow yet, or like being concerned about playing him. So I'll play Tybald on the maneuverability zone.
Okay.
And I will, I'm tempted to like move up one of my Flayed Men units to be more threatening, but I think maybe it's more worth it to move up my Bastard Girls because they don't have nearly as much mobility and they're kind of far away from the rest of the fight. A couple of years ago, I moved to Minnesota and actually got to spend a year living with Sky. And when I was there, we discovered this wonderful game. We discovered Song of Ice and Fire, and from there it just turned into a lovely relationship between us in this game where we spent every moment that we could carve out together playing.
We were so eager to play the game, actually, that one night, I think after our favorite local game store closed, the manager invited us there to play. And on the way back at like 3 in the morning, I actually fell and like carved up my rib cage on my figure case. I'm rending flesh for this game, okay? That's how much it means to us.
You're gonna activate an NCU.
I'm gonna activate NCU, yes.
Okay.
He's doing things.
Yes, I'm gonna play Whispered Threats, which is when an enemy NCU activates. So if you take a zone, I'm gonna get to put Vulnerable and Panicked on one of your units.
Thus begins the reign of conditioned token tyranny.
If I take a zone, Vulnerable and Panic, I will take Bags with Wendemir.
Okay.
I will replace that zone's effect of putting a token on Wendemir's card. And also, whenever a friendly NCU claims Bags, the unit that Eric Ironmaker is in gets a pillage token.
Illegal.
The hard part about the cards that make you choose between doing the thing you want to do and getting a couple of tokens is that the tokens aren't that big of a deal, and so you're kind of always taking them unless the activation you're doing is truly like not important. But in most cases, I'm always gonna be taking those tokens.
I don't know why I gave them all to you, because you're gonna put them all on me. I should have kept them.
Here's one more for you. Because there's another one coming.
I'm gonna do a start of turn order on your turn.
Yep, go for it.
All right, I'm going to use their Divide the Spoils order as well to toss out another pillage token from here to here.
Ooh, he's preparing the silenced men.
They're fully charged up!
Giga Sundering! Activate! Horrible.
For every pillage token that silenced men have, they reduce the morale of enemy units surrounding them in a 6-inch bubble. They also reduce the amount of damage they take from panic for each pillage token they have as well. This whole rule is called the Silence's Infamy. Lastly, if they have 2 pillage tokens, they get something that I like to call Giga Sundering, which is -2 to your armor value. On top of all of this, they also have Dauntless, so they're pretty good, especially when they have 2 pillage tokens.
Going into the match, I was definitely worried about trying to beat Silence Men and also the big bunker unit of Iron Makers. They're very, very powerful. They're tough to chew through. Greyjoy are really, really good at just grinding and healing up and sustaining. I think my strategy going into it was more focused on objectives and avoiding those units specifically and instead trying to kill, for instance, the Drowned Men or the Archers. Okay, let me do a little mental math here, right? So you have 5 on the board, 6 activations. I won't be able to punt because you'll just take swords. But I think if I wait, the only zone that's useful right now is 6. So I think I'm okay with missing a
He's doing calculus right now.
I will accept the fact that I will miss out on panic should you choose that zone, and I will burn a turn with Ramsey Snow.
I think I'm gonna move up on this and then angle.
Okay.
And then I'll put a little activation token next to them.
I will play on Crowns, and Walder Frey allows me to weaken one of your combat units after doing the Crowns.
Nice.
There's a nice little benefit there. Tempted to zap the Iron Makers because I need to start doing damage to them, but I have a feeling I'm not gonna kill them this game. So I think I should just ignore them and instead zap your Archers.
Okay, Archers getting zapped. They have a panicked on them. They have a morale of 8, and they're at -1 because of the panic zone. So we're looking for over a 9 with the 2 dice, and we got it!
I'll have you with the panic reroll the 6.
No, please! So here comes the 6, baby. Please. Here it comes. Oh!
I thought it was gonna be another 6.
All right, and 3 of my Archers are dead.
Okay, that's a decent start.
No.
That's my turn. Over to you.
We're going to maneuver. So we're going to pivot, move 5, pivot, and end right about there. And because they activated, they take a wound.
I forgot about that.
I have yet another activation to do.
At the top of my turn?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, just play the game on my turn, why don't you?
I'm going to use Drowned Men's Blessings from here to heal my Archers 2 times.
What is dead may never die.
I will punt. With the most recent update in A Song of Ice and Fire, you are able to do something that we refer to as punting. Specifically, what that means is if you have a list that has less activations than your opponent's list, you get 2 free passes in the game. You can only use 1 per round, but essentially what that does is it skips your activation for that turn and passes it back to your opponent.
I think it's not too risky for me to move my Iron Maker center up here.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a sweet bit. It's looking like more than a little bit.
You're like,
Old man in his chair being pushed forward by the rest of them.
Look, I'm not here to explain the logistics of a guy who can't get out of his chair somehow marching down the battlefield to attack people, okay? It's not my job.
Angling.
I want to make sure that if Big Daddy Cowboy comes in and charges someone, I got some lines.
What's the range looking like? You do have a Wendy. God, I hate Wendy.
I love Wendy, dude.
Wendemir is the bane of my existence in this game. I have so much history playing with Scott, and let me tell you, in a faction that only has infantry, it's so frustrating to always have to account for a 3-inch shift here, a 3-inch shift there. Oh, here's another 3-inch shift. Everyone gets a 3-inch shift. I mean, I could be shot at. You're gonna get like half your attacks off, and I'm gonna defend like most of them with a 3+, so it's not like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, you're gonna like trade like 1 wound and then they're gonna die.
The problem with the 14-inch shooting range is that it's also in range to get bricked by a unit of flayed men.
Okay, I don't see any reason not to activate over here because you've already activated all of your guys on this side of the board, so I can kind of make my decision over here. So I'm gonna activate these flayed men on this side. I'm gonna move up on your drowned men. Still gives you a pretty nasty charge, but I think it also leaves you out of range without using a Wendy shift to shoot me with your archers.
I think it's not worth using the Wendy shift to get a shot off on the archers, even if it is possible.
That's how I feel.
And so what I will do is I will just, with Balon, take swords and just do nothing with it.
Now I think I'm gonna move my Dreadfort Spearmen up.
Yeah, this is kind of a pitfall for a lot of Song players. It's like you don't want to put your tray in such a way that the opponent can engage you, but also sit on top of the objective.
That hurts real bad.
Yeah, so you don't want to get that opportunity. So Curtis is using a little template tray here and positioning it just off of the objective so that if I were to engage him, I wouldn't be fully covering it and thus not controlling it. I will activate with the Drowned Men. I'll do a pivot and a move. So we'll do a maneuver. I have a start of your turn activation. I bet you know what it is.
Oh, do you? Yeah, you're gonna heal your
you better believe it. I'm gonna use my second Drowned Men's Blessing to heal the archers back to full. So I've used both my blessings, both my Divide the Spoils.
You're like, I am efficiency incarnate.
Other than with my tactics cards.
I think almost every single card in the Greyjoy deck wants you to be in combat or in some kind of combat to get the full benefit. Because of this, the longer I spend outside of combat means that I'm just kind of holding on to cards that are potentially really good that I'm just not finding an opportunity to use.
All right, so obviously with your Silence Men being the ones that are left there, you're going to be in a position to kind of counter anything that I do right now. So if I like ran my Bastard's Girls forward, you could put yourself in a nice position to attack them. But I also still have my Flayed Men back here to kind of help with that situation. I think, actually, it's probably more worth it to move the Flayed Men now and move the Bastard's Girls next and see what you do. I think maybe that's the play.
I got a Wendy shift, so we can play with that. I got 6-inch move, so I can go to 9 inches here and guarantee a charge. Heck, even 10 inches and guarantee a charge.
You can definitely get the charge off.
Yeah.
I definitely left that open, but like, if you put yourself in a position to charge, well, let's just say bad things will happen. To be auto-in means that you have guaranteed that your charge will be successful, whether that means that you're within your movement +1 of the opponent, or maybe you have a tactics card that allows you to get a free 6-inch charge, for instance, like Greyjoy's Rush of Aggression when they're playing Vic Commander.
So if I go here, does this mean that I'm shootable right now? Doesn't look like it. 14 inches, right?
Wendy shift.
You wish!
I mean, I do.
Yeah, I don't know. This feels okay. I mean, I don't know. You know, I just want action to happen sooner rather than later.
Scott's thirsty.
Because all of my cards are about action.
He's getting impatient. This is where he loses.
I can resurrect a unit. Who cares? Out of range of shooting for now. I don't know. All the Greyjoy players in the comments will be like, "What are you fucking doing, man? They're gonna die." Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right.
You definitely did position yourself well.
Oh, thank God.
I'm gonna play Seeing Their Flaws. After an enemy combat unit completes an action, they become vulnerable, and panicked.
There's a turn 1 summary, there is a vulnerable, there's a weakened, there's a panic and vulnerable.
And there was a panicked on your archers as well at one point, but I expended it.
The Bolton deck, if it can do anything great, it's put out tokens.
Yes. So we'll pivot slightly before maneuvering. I'll maneuver forward 6 inches. I will turn towards the schnoz happening over here. And I believe that is the end of round 1.
At the end of round 1, I'm feeling entirely neutral. Very normal for me and Curtis to have an entire round of strategic positioning to try to get opportunities for ourselves.
I didn't really like my positioning on my Bastards girls. I don't like how I deployed them, but I was trying to play the objective. But I'm anticipating what I'm gonna do next. His drowned men on the right flank have a nice opening that I can charge in on with the flayed men. I'll likely be able to kill them and then be able to surge forth onto that objective, which would feel very, very nice.
Round 2. Top of round 2, Curtis has got the first activation.
In doodly deedle.
What's it gonna be?
That is such a fantastic question. Before I do anything, I'm gonna do a start of any turn Cruel Methods, which reads, target 1 enemy combat unit. You may expend 1 panic token from that unit if you do choose 2. I'm gonna expend the panic token on these guys because they have such great morale that it's unlikely I'll get anything off on them anyway. So I'm gonna expend that, and instead I'm gonna apply Weakened. That way, if you now subsequently charge me next turn, your attack will be weaker. And then, we're just gonna go with my original gut feeling because I think that's the right choice right now. So I'm going to go ahead and activate my Flayed Men and declare a charge onto your boys there. And I'm pretty sure this is also a guaranteed in. I'm just rolling for disorderly.
Let me see that 1, baby.
I know, right?
Ooh, the opposite of a 1.
We'll align 50% to the left here. Flayed Men get 6 dice, looking for 3s. They get crit blow because they charged. They have vicious and intimidating presence.
Please, drowned men, live! Yikes!
Oh, it's a pretty shitty roll
4
to begin
misses.
with. So you might be looking okay here.
Well, I got a 6 in there, so that's nice. Okay, so 6
Not the
hits.
greatest, but that's okay. So 6 hits at -1.
And they have a 6 of armor save. I got 1. You want me to re-roll that one?
This is like, it's gonna be half rounded up, right?
Yes.
So that will make it 2 instead of 3.
It will,
Then,
yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, re-rolling. So spending the vulnerable to re-roll any number of armor saves. All right, so they take 3 wounds so far, and now they need to do a panic check. You're on the flank, which is -1. You have
And vicious and intimidating presence, which is -3, so -4 total. You're within 6 of the tree, so it becomes -3 total, +1 wound.
Okay, -3 total, +1 wound with a morale of 5. We're looking at an 8 with +1 wound. I mean, any
baby.
failure is death.
Oh,
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
All right, the drowned men didn't die. How?
Dude, I am so glad that my drowned men survived. I had no idea that I exposed enough of my flank to allow for that charge. So that was totally a misplay, but I'm so glad that the dice gods are on my favor this time.
I needed those drowned men to die. I really wanted them to die. If they had panic on them, they would have died. I put panic on a different unit, and I'm pretty sure I should have put them on the drowned men, because if I had put them on that, I absolutely would have made you reroll. You almost certainly would have failed. I would have gotten the kill, search forth on the objective. It all would have been better.
I'm going to use Drowned's Blessing just to heal 2 wounds off of them.
Okay.
So they use their order to heal 2. All right, what was your start of turn activation?
Mine is a card that I have yet to utilize until this moment. Sadistic Game. Start of an enemy turn. Your opponent chooses 1, 4 hits, or 2 units become panicked. It is your choice.
Definitely 2 units become panicked.
Okay. I will apply panicked to the archers and these guys. The archers and the
Yeah, you're missing this.
I really was. It pains me.
We're feeling okay at the moment. I don't necessarily care to charge in here into the death zone. So I think what I need to do I need to activate an NCU. I'm gonna do Wendy. He's gonna take swords. He's gonna replace that with putting an order token on his card. Okay. What are you gonna do? You know?
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
The thing about charging as your first activation in a round is you are charging into an opponent who is going to have swords once you're done with your activation. Now, taking an attack with drowned men, not very scary. But so I can take it so that he doesn't get it, I'm gonna use Wendemir and still get a little bit of value out of it, adding a token to his card.
I'm so glad those drowned men didn't die. Oh my god, dude.
I'd be so tilted right now.
I really needed that. I needed like the early advantage and the frustration on your end. That's basically the game right there. You tilt your opponent round 2, top of round 2, it's over. I'm tempted to take maneuverability and do something with it, but I don't actually know if there's much for me to do with maneuverability right now.
You could retreat onto that objective.
That might be my best choice.
You'll still have a charge because they're capped and they can move around. Maybe I shouldn't be telling you what the good options are.
What a fool!
What a fool!
That seems like the best option here. So I'm gonna play Tybald on maneuverability. We're gonna roll to see how far I retreat. So 5 + 4 is 9 inches.
Retreating is always often a valid strategical consideration.
And yet I never want to do it.
Just feels bad, you know? You just want to grind people down. Okay, I am going to take letters with Asha.
Okay.
I'm gonna put her influence on the Silenced Men. I will put a weakened on your Bastards Girls.
Okay.
And I'll draw 2.
Okay, well now that 2 of my vital units are weakened, I feel like continuing the NCU dance is probably the play. So I'll play Ramsay Snow on the Moneybags. I will place his influence on my Flayed Men over here. And then because I've taken the Moneybags, I can remove a weakened token. I think it's more valuable to remove it from the Bastards Girls.
I'm going to take Crowns with Balon, and I will zap the Spearman because I don't want to risk it for the Bolton and not get it.
Okay, so it becomes an 8. I'm also near a corpse pile, so 9. Sweet.
Ooh, very good.
Well, here we are again.
You do still have a pass.
I will indeed use my pass right now.
All right. I'm going to activate this unit and not move them.
Okay, I think I know what I need to do. And unfortunately, it's gonna leave you with some very nice options here.
I love nice options.
But I think this is what we're gonna do. So because you have so many more options available to you right now, or I should say so many more activations available to you, I cannot like continue punting. I need to move with something critical over here on the left side, unfortunately. So I'm gonna move with my Flayed Men, and instead of charging or doing anything like that, I'm gonna go try to sit on that objective on the far end of the table there.
Flayed Men playing defensively.
Indeed.
Well, playing
for
the objective. Okay, yeah, which, as we all know, is the lamest strategy you can do in this game.
I'm feeling kind of nervous about this Flayed Men move here. I want them to sit on an objective, and it feels kind of difficult to get them to do anything else in this moment. I'm also like giving up that core strength that I have near my Spearmen and the Bastards Girls. I'm kind of like abandoning them almost, using this activation early, meaning I can't then support them should they be charged later. But I think taking the objective is what's important here.
When Curtis moved his Flayed Men onto that objective, he kind of opened the board for me. He's conceding aggression, which is good. I think early game aggression in Song is super rewarded. So I was really happy to see him move those Flayed Men out of the way. Activate the Drown Men. They maneuvered up behind my Iron Makers and Silenced Men. Back to you.
Okay, now I'm left with a very difficult choice because now I need to do something. So I'm tempted to not move forward with the Spearmen because I'm still in a situation where if you charge them, you can't sit on that objective, and that feels pretty good. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna activate my Spearmen here, but I'm gonna move such that I'm still denying you this objective, so you couldn't be engaged with me and on it, but I'm gonna move to the left, thus making the charge for my Bastards Girls easier.
So I could just walk up and sit on the center objective myself and not do any charging, play the objective game as well. The problem is that I have to kind of choose a facing, and I open myself to a flank charge from Flayed Men, charging volley from these guys, all not great things. But I do have a 2-up armor save, so I can kind of take that.
5 inches really doesn't get you as much as you'd think.
Yeah, you know, it's not very impressive.
You're not gonna go home and brag about your 5-inch move, you know what I'm saying?
That joke never gets old. Literally never. So we're gonna burn a Wayne token at the start of our turn to shift the Iron Makers forward 3 inches. And then for activation, we will move the Silenced Men back around to threaten the Flayed Men.
This is kind of the selling point for Wendy, honestly. This is Scott proving why Wendy is so clutch and so versatile. Here Scott is moving his Iron Makers up and then using Wendy to close the gap onto that center objective. And then also set himself up with a nice flank charge on my Flayed Men, where his Silenced Men almost certainly wouldn't have been able to reach otherwise.
You got 1 unit left to activate. What are they gonna do?
So unfortunately, in retrospect, it would have been nicer to have, like, for instance, shot first with them and then moved with these guys. But I really did expect you to come forward on either onto them or like continue challenging this section of the board. So I didn't consider that you would do what you've done here.
These are my tricky hands.
Yeah, I know. It's a very, very tricky situation here. I am going to activate with my Bastards Girls and just basically move up as much as I can so that I'm still holding the objective.
All right, I'll activate my Iron Makers. When they activate, I'll play Raiding Call. But because someone has bags in this game, the Iron Makers will gain their second pillage token.
Okay, and that gives them
A 2-up armor save.
an additional attack die.
An additional attack die, yes.
I think I'm just going to use this now, even though it's not its optimal.
You're
play.
gonna shut down my only.
I mean, I might as well shut down something.
my only card that I'm playing.
Yeah, you better
brother?
fucking believe it.
Oh,
I'm gonna flay your boys.
No.
Flayman has no secrets, so when a unit is targeted by an ability or tactics card, I can expend a condition token in long range to mitigate that card's effect.
All right, so you nullify my Raiding Call. That's fine. I didn't want it to go off anyways. I will continue activating the Iron Makers. They'll do a little maneuver. And then for my last activation, we're going to activate here. They'll take a wound because of poisoned gifts.
Yep.
And we'll move over here with the old archers. Oh, sorry. At the start of my friendly turn, when doing that, I'm going to use my last Wendy
Yeah, I was
shift
wondering when you were gonna do that.
to move my Silenced Men forward 3 inches. I don't got Kev, but I got Wendy. That is the end of round 2. Very little bloodshed.
Yeah, we have really yet to do much of anything when it comes to actually like doing damage to each other.
But shit's gonna start now.
I know. I'm afraid.
At the end of round 2, I'm feeling okay. I'm behind by a point, but that's okay. I have a very advantageous charge happening in turn 3 that might do some good work for me. One thing I didn't expect was that now that we're scoring objectives, you get to use the benefit on the objective. And one of those was allowing Curtis to shift his flayed men forward a little bit, which opened up a charge for him that I didn't think was possible. So I'm a little bit concerned about that.
The end of round 2, I'm definitely feeling kind of nervous. I didn't expect Scott's Silence Men to be able to get into the flank of my flayed men that I put onto that left side objective. So he's sitting there with 2 great options, able to charge me on the flank with his Silence Men into my flayed men, and he's able to charge my spearmen with his Iron Makers, depending on which he wants to go for. And I'm sitting here with my Bastard's Girls not in the fray, my spearmen not hunkered down on an objective. I'm not feeling like I've positioned very well.
Round 3. I will start the turn off by charging here with my Silenced Men.
Okay.
Do a little angle of the dangle. It is an auto in, but I am rolling for disorderly. You never want to see that 1. Out of 1. We are weakened, but we do have rerolls, which is nice. We missed on 2, so I'll reroll those. All 8.
Reroll everything.
All right, so I'm weakened. Got to reroll these. Come on, Giggle Roll.
That was the most value weakened that has ever existed in this game. Let me just make that very clear.
Oh my God.
That felt like I won the game in 1 dice roll. I'm pretty sure that in that moment, the dice gods opened up the heavens and just shone down upon me. And they said, this is your time.
This felt like a totally fine move. I knew he was gonna have swords after the fact, but I thought I was gonna take a rank of horses out at the very least. And a flayed men attack on 1 rank is very sad and pathetic, but now it's much less sad and pathetic.
All right, I missed on every single attack other than 1.
All right, and because you are in my flank and have 2 pillage tokens, it is -2.
-3.
-3, sorry, the flank is 1 and then the Giga Suddenly is -2, so that becomes 6. So I need a 6. Screwed.
Why, God?
Just adding insult to injury at this point, if I'm being honest.
Okay, well, obviously I don't want you to take swords, so I think the right choice here is to take swords. So I'm gonna take swords with Tybald. No crit blow because it's not a charge, no rerolls. I am weakened, unfortunately. I don't think this is gonna do very much. Here we go, 6 dice, looking for 3s. 3 hit.
Reroll all 3.
Okay.
Show me 0 hits.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, I don't get crit blow. Never mind. Woo! Okay, 2 hits.
2 hits.
2 with vicious.
Okay, so I made 1 save. Do you want to expend vulnerability?
No.
Okay, so 1 homie dies until I play this card. I'm gonna play Iron's Endurance, which says after rolling defense dice, target the defender. It blocks 1 hit, so no one dies. And if it's a Greyjoy unit, I attach this card to the unit. And this allows me to get things for each pillage token that I have.
Even though I had a devastating failure in my first swing at combat, it feels good to be in combat and using all these tactics cards and juicing up my Silenced Men even more.
I'm gonna do a start of an enemy turn. I'm gonna play Sadistic Games again.
I will take the panics.
Okay, I'll place one on archers and one on iron makers.
I'm going to activate an NCU.
I'm going to use one of Tybald's order tokens. Tybald is a very unique NCU specific to the Bolton faction, and in fact, I feel like he makes the Bolton faction unique. He is what makes them unique. He starts with 2 order tokens on him, and when an enemy NCU activates, you can target a zone, and now the enemy has to make a choice. They can either take that zone, and perhaps it'll be a less advantageous zone in that moment, and then one of their units will become vulnerable, which is the less egregious of the 2 options. Or they can choose willingly to not take that zone, take whatever zone they intended to take, and then Tybald gets to then claim that zone after their effect is over. So why is that so good? Because you can put Tybald on the NCU board and still use his order to move him on the board. So if you're on a zone that you want to use a second time, you can essentially move him off of that zone and then replay that zone. I'm gonna say that I want you to take the crowns.
So I won't take crowns. I'm going to take bags with Asha.
Okay.
I'm going to put her effect on the Iron Makers. Because a friendly NCU took bags, I get to put a token on Eric's unit specifically, and then I'm going to replace that zone's effect with an attack using We Do Not Sow. I'm going to attack with the only thing in combat, and I'm going to play Kraken's Wrath with it. Okay. Because you have swords, I get rerolls and precision. Because I control bags, you become panicked.
Well, goddamn.
Notice how now that I'm in combat, tactics cards just flying out of my hand left and right.
Looking for 3s. Cool, got 2 6s so far, I'll keep those. Reroll the fails.
2 auto wounds, 6 saves. Looking for 5s here. I did get 2, so I'm gonna lose a rank. And now panic check at
-2, because I have 2 pillage tokens.
Okay, so I'm looking for an 8 on my boys. And we got it. But I'm panicked.
I'll have you re-roll both of the dice, the d6.
Both of the d6. Okay, again looking for 8. And again we are okay. Okay, so they take 6 wounds. 2 horses down.
Imagine if I did an average amount of damage to this unit before. They might be dead right now.
I don't think Scott will ever stop being salty about that.
I'm not salty, you're salty.
Okay, so now that you have finished your activation, Tybald will now switch to the crown, thus zapping someone. I think the only choice then is the archers.
Okay, archers, they got +1 because of the tree, so they're ignoring the -1.
Zone, so
we're on an 8, but we have panicked. Indeed. A freshly applied.
This time, for real.
We fail and lose 2. Do you want to have a real D3?
We'll leave it like that.
All right, 2 archers go kaput.
Okay, so now that swords is open, clearly the right choice is to play swords. I don't particularly want to, but that was kind of the whole point of this whole thing. So I will play Ramsay Snow on the swords. I will place his influence on my flayed men. So we'll just attack. I only get 4 dice. Super bad on 1 rank. Look for 3s with vicious. We got 2 hits.
2 5-ups. Got 1. Can we reroll it?
No.
1 silenced man perishes. And then I make a morale check. So we're on 7 right now. Okay. So I failed my panic test, so I'll play Gold's Allure, an Eric Ironmaker card. It allows me to reroll any dice for this test. So we'll keep the 1, looking for a 7. We got it on an 11. This also gets attached to the card. Okay. And now there's a lot to remember.
Because I did some damage, does my Field by Slaughter still go off or no? It's kind of a confusing situation. Let me break it down for you. I've attacked Scott's Silence Men with my Flayed Men, and I've done some damage. But he now has to roll for panic, and in doing so, he's passed his test. When he does, because Silence Men have Dauntless, they're gonna heal back a wound. But because he's also played Iron's Endurance on his unit, he's gonna gain back 2 wounds, 1 for the Dauntless and 1 for Iron's Endurance. I've done a net 0 amount of wounds, but because I did do damage, Ramsay Snow's influence on my Flayed Men allows me to heal back a wound because of Field by Slaughter. And then in the end, because of Iron's Endurance, he's going to weaken my unit because it is the only one engaged with the Soundsman.
I'm gonna take letters with Balon.
Okay.
I'm gonna put a weekend on these homies.
Okay.
And then I'm going to draw 2 cards.
Drawing We Do Not Sew right now is amazing. I have a NCU available. There's a zone on the tactics board ripe for the taking, and I could finish off these flayed men with my silence men, which would be amazing right now.
Could charge in on your archers with the flayed men. I would then be leaving my post.
That's how I feel about this. It's like, I could charge
Yeah.
these guys, but it's like, I'm leaving the beat. But murder!
Let's be real here. The only thing that matters is murder. So if I don't take maneuverability, you're gonna take it, even if just to like get a token. Or has Wendy already been played?
Wendy is not.
So I think I have to do it. Go forward, and then turn. I'm trying to miss the wall and the corpse pile.
I don't know if this is the play. I'm gonna end up losing by 1 point and really regret this move. I'm gonna charge with my drowned men.
Okay, you're doing it. What in the world are you doing? You're willingly going off the objective to attack me with cudgels? This is not gonna work out for you.
Remember that little cheeky shift that Curtis did earlier with his flayed men? Well, I'm really concerned that that is going to turn into a big charge on archers or iron makers, and so I kind of want to tie these flayed men up. Sadly, it's at the expense of me being on an objective, so I'm not sure if this was worth it, but we'll find out later on.
Rolling for, honestly, I don't care. Get disorderly, like now's the time.
Now's the time to burn that anti-luck.
yeah. And then I'll hit you. No rerolls. 4 attacks with my very menacing cudgels.
Looking for 5s?
Looking for 5s. Oh, we got 1.
You just got 1, boys.
We got 1.
All right, I'm looking for 3s on the defense here. And we got it.
If you're enjoying the bolt and paint jobs in today's videos, they were painted up by a commission service operated by one of my very close friends. Gold Standard Studios has several tiers of quality for you to pick from, and the rank and file troops for the Bolton Army were painted in their tabletop standard, whereas the characters and these other models on screen right now are painted to their tabletop plus tier. As a customer, you have the opportunity to mix and match quality levels so you can avoid breaking the bank on your standard rank and file model while having a nicer looking character. Speaking of, they also have display standard tier and beyond that, the titular gold standard tier, both increasing the level of paint job and time spent. With any of these tiers, conversions are an option. Gold Standard has a stable of artists that are capable of some basic conversion work like a head swap or adding a sculpted beard, but can also be truly transformative stuff as well. Check out this Wintery Corn Bloodbound warband to see how involved it can get. They have painters in both North America and the EU as well, so they can accommodate cheaper shipping to a variety of customers. Lastly, Gold Standard has some great communication because they have someone on staff dedicated to it so you can get information to and from the artist quickly. Their info is in the description below if you want to check out their service. Now back to the game.
Start of your turn, I'm gonna use their order to take off that last wound, so that back on max.
Okay, I want control of that objective. I want the point this turn. Attacking is gonna do nothing. It's very likely you'll just heal it back up anyway, so there's really no point in attacking. So I'm gonna do the tactical retreat, which everyone hates to see. I am still controlling the objective, but we are no longer engaged, meaning I actually do control it.
That retreat from Curtis was actually super good. I didn't think there was enough space to not engage me, but still be on the objective.
What are your hopes and dreams? You have
To win this game, god damn it.
That's the only thing that matters right now.
How lame I have to play.
Yeah, we're gonna maneuver with the drowned men, and we're gonna move them right about there.
This is looking like nothing really is happening.
Hey, I tried.
And then I ran like a pussy.
I mean, I think really what happened was I rolled 7 1s and 2s. Literally, 7 1s and 2s.
Listen, I'm a Greyjoy player. There's a lot of salt in the ocean to go around.
All right, I think that I want to continue punting on this side of the board. So I think I just play the objective and retreat back onto the objective. This feels so lame, but I think that's what I gotta do.
I've never seen filleted men retreat so much. More like retreat men, am I right?
More like sit on the objective, man.
I don't want to charge off of the. It's a bad idea, Scott. Don't do it.
Do it.
Simple maneuver with my archers, getting in a more threatening position.
I hate playing the objective game. I want to fight, but I think the right play is to go sit on it, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go sit on this objective with my bastards girls.
The Iron Makers do not want to move. They will sit there on that objective. Let's get a little commander on commander action.
I'm okay, actually.
I've activated. I can't even hit you back.
Not gonna do anything. You're at 2+ armor saves. I need 4+ to hit.
Details, bro.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Dreadforce Spearmen and start moving to the right to kind of split you up here. I think there's no value to them here, it feels like.
Okay, and that was the last activation for the round, right?
And all my guys have done is just kind of pivot around. Yes, that was the last activation of the round, indeed. The end of round 3, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm leading 6-3 against Scott. I've got Flame Men sitting on multiple objectives. The only thing I don't like is how I've gotten here. I don't like that I've had to play this little retreat chicanery game where I'm kind of not really engaging, even though I'm the Bolton faction. I want to be killing people. And instead I'm stuck just sitting on objectives. But hey, it's, you know, a means to an end.
Going into round 4, I can feel my grasp on this game kind of slipping away. In any scenario, in any miniature war game where you have lots of points to score for objectives, you kind of have to stay on top of it, because once you fall behind, it's like really hard to start catching up.
Round 4. Everyone in my army is panicked.
As it should be against Boltons. Like walking forward with like literal flayed bodies, and all of your people are like, holy shit.
Yeah, that tracks,
I'll play Ramses Snow on the letters, I'll draw 2 cards, and I will weaken your unit of soundsmen over there.
All right. Okay, yeah, we're gonna activate our Iron Makers. It's auto in, but we'll roll for disorderly. Very not disordered.
You know, honestly, I could punt and we could do the whole NCU dance thing, but then what? The board state could be totally different. I have an opportunity right now with my Iron Makers to charge someone. Do I sit on the middle objective for a 3rd turn in a row with my commander's unit as I slowly lose this game? No.
Before you do any of this, I'm gonna use my order to...
set for charge. Yeah.
I'm gonna use set for charge, yeah. When I attack, I would like to now align to the right.
Go for it.
7 dice looking for 4s, no rerolls, no other modifiers. Not a bad roll. Looking for 4s, so I got 5 of them.
Because I have 2 pillage tokens, I have a 2-up armor save.
Omega armor.
We're good on all of them.
Yeah.
All right, here comes my swing.
Come back at me.
They're actually one of the only units in my army that can kill an entire unit in 1 activation with some lucky rolls.
Wow.
Wow, wow indeed.
Wow, 4 misses, 5 misses, easy.
Scott, what, are you struggling right now?
I get rerolls because I charge.
You didn't take your boost this morning?
My boosts.
Just like that.
Wow, that's a lot of fucking 6s. Thank God they're a weekend. Reroll it all. There's no world where you roll 5 fucking 6s again.
If not for weekend.
That'd be amazing. 2 misses.
Still 2 6s.
2 6s. That's 7. 7 saves. No sundering.
Looking for 4s. 3 wounds. I have a 7 plus morale. -1 from this, +1 from this. So I'm looking for 7. And we got it. So now you've left me with the swords, but not a great option for using them because these guys kind of suck attacking.
Yeah.
So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll play a Tybalt on swords, and I will swing with Ramsay Snow's unit. Again, got 5 hits.
Okay. You did take your boost this morning.
You better believe it. Every morning, brother.
I got
You just roll a 1.
Got them all, baby.
I really don't know why I was so scared to get the Iron Makers in the mix. They're honestly so tanky, especially with the help of Asha NCU. Definitely a misplay on my part.
If that was less of a disappointing outcome, I'd want to invest more in this combat.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. But it also feels bad trying to engage here because horses is still open. Even if you just horses off of the zone, they're still sitting there with their dicks in their hands doing nothing. But whatever. I'm going to charge here.
I feel like all the Silencemen can do with the current position they're in is charge these flayed men. At the very least, if he retreats from me again, he won't have enough space to still stay on the objective. So at least by doing this, I'm preventing 1 point from being scored.
They're auto in, rolling for disorderly. Disorderly. I got 8 dice, and I'm looking for 3s, and I'm weakened. Here we go. All right, missed 2.
Not a bad
reroll. Reroll all
Yeah,
of
I'm gonna
them.
have you reroll everything with the weekend.
All right. All right, we got 5 Giga Sundering saves.
Really would love to get even just 1. I did. So 4 wounds total. A morale check at -2. I did not get it, got a 1. I'm not panicked, so we have 4 wounds, +1 is 5. Ow.
Ouchie.
I had some other plans in mind, but I think right now is the time to use horses. It also prevents you from using it then, which certainly is a good choice, because there are probably things that you would like to do.
I still have this We Do Not Sow card in my hand. And again, there's an opportunity where if Curtis leaves a slot open on the zone for me, I could kill these flayed men.
And we're gonna retreat with my flayed men over there. So we will again move 1 inch back.
But sadly, Curtis isn't a noob, and he's definitely not gonna let that happen.
I'm gonna activate Asha. I'm gonna put her on bags. I'm gonna take Asha's influence, and I think I'll put it on the Iron Makers. And then I will play We Do Not Sow with that, and I'll swing with the Iron Makers. Boys, are you excited to swing without weakened? Because I know I am. Let's see those 5/6s again, please.
Please spare me. I really don't want to see it.
All right, we're looking for 3s on 8 dice.
Please no 6s. Oh.
Oh, man.
Scott, what are you
4
doing?
misses,
Scott.
bruh.
You know, when I was younger playing war games, a 3-up dice roll felt like a guarantee for some reason. I don't know why. But nowadays, as an adult, a 3-up dice roll is a cruel mistress. You have no idea what's gonna happen when you go into a 3-up roll with a fistful of dice. It could totally betray you, or it could be the most amazing thing ever.
All right, 5 saves, no modifiers. I'm looking for 4s. Here we go. Give me a couple.
Hey,
only 1.
A lot of boys dying.
So 4 wounds so far. We're looking for 7. Did not get it and got 1 extra wound. So we're looking at 5 wounds, which is gonna bring me down to exactly 1 rank.
Boltons be dying.
Boltons do be dying. We got horses dying, we got spearmen dying, very little Greyjoy dying.
That's how I like it. But I also want to win the game.
Yes. Yes, indeed. I think the next obvious play here for me is to do the flayed men charge that I've been kind of just waiting on over here. It's an auto win. I'm just rolling for disorderly. And I'm going to play a card. I'm going to play Our Blades Are Sharp. And unfortunately, because I'm weakened, makes this a little less impactful. Our Blades Are Sharp is a fantastic card against drowned men because drowned men typically only take half wounds. If you do 4 hits and they all go through, they're only going to take 2 of those as wounds. But Our Blades Are Sharp allows you to gain precision, which gives you those auto wounds on 6s, which circumvents that.
All of the keywords.
So you're gonna make me reroll shit, so no point fishing for 6s.
And so if I fail all my saves, I just die. So, yeah, reroll them.
And then here comes the moment.
Weakening an attack that has either precision or crit blow is always a little bit spooky in A Song of Ice and Fire because you could just have your opponent re-roll into more 6s, being worse for you.
I got another 1, but I did get less successful hits off, which I think turned out good for you. So it's gonna be 1 auto wound,
1 auto,
and then 4 saves because of crit blow, giving this one an additional hit.
And I'm not vulnerable, so any 6s.
Please no
stick.
6s.
I
If
need
you don't
1.
roll any 6s, I have a chance of killing you.
Just give me 1. Okay, so we take 2 damage.
Yes.
You guys are dead. Nope, we're alive. You want to panic it?
Yeah, reroll the 6 and the 1.
Please.
No. Fear keeps a man alive. When an enemy fails a panic, just target any number of friendly units in long range. For each wound caused by this panic test, restore that many wounds across the unit.
Okay, so I'm gonna play a card, but I think you're gonna counter it probably.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna play What Is Dead May Never Die.
Okay, I'm going to play A Flayed Man Has No Secrets, which allows me to mitigate a tactics card on a unit if I expend a token in long range. I think I'm gonna burn the panic on Iron Makers because I'm never gonna fucking kill Iron Makers.
The pesky drowned men are finally dead, and I would like to say that they did their job tying up the flayed men, but honestly, they had to leave their objective to do that, and I don't think that was worth it.
This is how it feels it should have happened in round 2, when I charged them on the flank. That's when they should have died, but I'll take it now. Now I get my point, get to search forth onto the objective. I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm gonna use Balon's once per game ability.
Oh shit.
Rise Again, Blade in Hand.
Yep.
Let me tell you, it feels super bad to use my 5-point NCU's once per game fancy ability to resurrect drowned men of all units, but it's the right play, sadly. Curtis isn't gonna kill my 2 big hunky units, and doing this right now prevents his spearmen from potentially taking that objective and allows me to grab it because they come on unactivated.
So now I don't gotta worry about a unit coming back, thankfully. I still think there's no world where I kill your Iron Makers or your Silence Men, honestly. Look at that. My bastards girls are gonna get to shoot something. I get 5 dice because of Damon, giving them the extra dice. I'm looking for 3s, no rerolls or anything like that. We got 4.
I have vulnerability, but I also have a 5 save. No modifier to that. And I got 2. Want to reroll them? One pass, the other dies. All right, here we go. We pass it, and we heal back 2 dudes. Because of Dauntless, and also because of Iron's Endurance.
What's the plan here, Scott?
I'm
scared for you.
The play is to do that. We're gonna walk onto that objective.
I will activate with the Flayed Men. I could charge. So this feels like a critical moment for my Flayed Men. They have been boxing out his Soundsmen from getting to my Bastards Girls. They've been preventing his units from sitting on the objectives on this side of the flank. Nothing really feels great here, unfortunately, and I'm trying so hard to protect my Bastards Girls despite them really having not done much this game, but I really don't want him to get this steamroll going on where he kills the Flayed Men, gets an objective, then goes forward and charges against the Bastards Girls as well. Okay, that is actually the worst play, because if I do that, then you can swords, and then your next turn you can charge Bastards Girls. So I think I will just do nothing, or I will, you know, move.
I'll put Wendy on crowns, and I'll replace that zone with putting an Order token on his Galdane card. Start of your turn, I'm going to use Drownman's Blessing on these archers to heal them for 2.
I'm going to retreat with these guys. Here we are rolling for the distance 2. So I will go straight back 7 inches.
Now I can rotate, right?
Yep.
Yep.
You can pivot off of the retreat. Yep. And now it's the top of your turn, right?
Yes, sir.
I may be down, but I'm not out. I have one more trick up my sleeve. Because I haven't really been shooting at all with my archers, Curtis seems to have forgotten about them a little bit. So with a little cheeky Wendy shift, I'm gonna get those archers in range to shoot those Flayed Men on the flank, no less, hopefully killing them and getting them out of the way for my Silence Men to do some real work.
Oh no!
Start of a friendly turn, I'm going to shift forward 3 inches with a Wendy token.
Oh no, I didn't account for the it. All that work to prevent the Silencemen from getting to the Bastards Girls, only for it to be completely for nothing when he does a Wendy shift forward with his bowmen just to tickle me on the side. Just another reason why Wendy is so good.
I'm gonna shift forward 2 and shoot these guys in the flank. Look at me shooting a cav unit on the flank. All right, we need 4s and we get rerolls.
Man, there was no world where I considered this might happen.
I know, I was praying. Dude, look at that roll, bro. Okay.
With rerolls, you were gonna get them all anyway, let's be real. Okay, so 6 saves?
6 minus 1 saves.
Okay, so I'm looking for 4s. So there's still a chance they live, but I think it's unrealistic. Please live, boys, please! Oh, what a roll! Holy shit! Holy shit! What a roll! I needed that more than anything right now. This now is the dice gods telling me that this unit was destined to live. And here I am just needing to pass 1 panic test and they'll survive. Scott is in disbelief currently. He's not even in this plane of existence. They can still die. They can still die, boys. 9.
So you need a 9?
No!
Yes! Oh, there is a god! Oh my god. I just creamed my shorts. Okay. Okay, I think that was the last activation for the turn.
Yeah. Going into round 5, I'm feeling really good. I only need 1 more VP to win this game. And honestly, if I just rat and play like a dirty little bastard, I'm gonna get that point no matter what. He can't prevent it. But I wanna win gloriously. And so those archers, they're looking mighty fine right now.
Listen, it's 5-9 right now. If I'm gonna win this game, it's only gonna be because I tabled him. But dusting off those Flayed Men is a good start.
Round 5.
You gotta do something big.
I gotta do something big right now. Are you ready, my sir?
I have never been more ready to destroy you.
All right, I'm gonna start off with the start round order. I'm going to Drowned Men's Blessing them to give them rerolls on attack, just on the off chance that I
roll another one.
roll another one, and yeah, I learned my lesson. So we'll pre-charge them, and then I will charge here. Very cool. I'm about to make a swing. I will play a card called Steel's Might. I will gain Precision and Vicious. I will burn both of my tokens.
Okay. I'm so sorry. I love you. Thank God for rerolls.
Why do you hate me, God? What the fuck did I do to you, dude?
See, Bones can win if your opponent just rolls like Scott.
I got 1 auto dead.
That auto hit though, the precision.
I got the 1 auto dead.
I'm so sorry.
Got the 1 auto dead. Okay, 1 dead.
All right, looking for 6s. Okay, so I take 6 wounds.
Yeah.
So my 5 morale turns into a
11.
An 11.
They're
Holy
very scared
shit.
right now.
All right, let's get fucking double 6s, baby. All right, so 1 more wound on top of all that. So 7 wounds total. Because you remove the back rank of archers, this is just a unit of dogs.
And a guy with a whip.
I'm going to play Tybald on swords, and I'm going to attack with these guys. Got 5.
Nice. No modifiers, but I do have vulnerability on me. All right, here comes the reroll for vulnerability. 5 silenced men are toast. All right, now here comes a panic check. We're on a 5. Dang it, I failed a 5 morale. Shoot. This is dumb to do this, but I don't think I'm ever going to use this card again. So I got a 1, a 2, and a 3. So I'm going to reroll all 3 dice.
Okay.
With good old Gold's Allure. You passed it on an 8.
So I can't actually use the card I was about to use. You get your 2 guys back. Dauntless gets you another 2 guys back.
That's locked up. You're not going to score over there, and they're going to die probably next turn if that's still going.
I'm gonna break your heart and let you know they haven't activated yet.
You are breaking my heart. Okay, so I'm going to have to break your heart then. I'm going to activate with the archers. And
then pew pew them,
yeah. I'm engaged, so I will need to take a panic check for that, but honestly, I like taking panic checks.
If I had been a big brain person, I would have aligned 50% to the left. Look at us making mistakes, god damn it.
Good thing you're a small brain person.
The pressure's on. In some circles, people may know me as a very slow player. I don't know if that's the words they would use. I think they might use some more choice words here, but I definitely take my time when I'm considering the choices I have in front of me. I really like to think about what the most optimal decision is in that moment. And oftentimes I kind of feel a pressure to forego that feeling and instead just make a decision so that we aren't stuck in this gridlock of playing song for 5 hours. And let me tell you, when I make a mistake that I could have prevented by just spending a little more time thinking about it, I want to die.
We're on 6 attacks here. Are the archers gonna do it again? Here we go.
Can you just roll like total ass, please? Not a good start.
Whatever, I'll take it. 2 hits.
Oh, they hit on 4s. I thought you hit on 3s. Holy shit.
That'd be amazing.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, okay.
Shoot.
I think we needed that to live, and I think I might still die.
3 saves.
At 6, it's their natural armor anyway, so just give me like 1. So unless I critically fail this.
Gotta crit found that panic, boys!
Okay, so I am a 5 naturally. You're on the flank and the corpse pile makes it a 7, 9. Ugh, because of the silence men as well. Here we go.
Just 1 from the silence.
Yeah.
Because they only have 1 token. 8.
Yeah.
Greyjoy makes it so complicated.
I know, there's a lot of math going on here. It's
It
very
really
simple
is.
math, just +1, -1
Look,
a lot of times.
my brain can't handle math while I'm trying to beat Scott's ass. Okay? Look for it.
Just roll high.
All right. You'll love to see it. My heart was not broken.
Sad. I wish it was.
But I could just be wild and crazy and go try to dive on your archers, because that'd
Wild.
that'd be fun. And I only need 1 more VP, and I think I have it over here.
You wanna score 11 VPs?
Kind of. Would you not?
You know, I would. You're right.
Yeah, Daddy wants it. Okay, I'm going for it. So I'm gonna activate my Flademan over there. And then if I measure this correctly, it should be a 3 up. It is indeed.
Fail the charge.
Here we go.
No!
Here we go.
6 hits total.
I was hoping for more. I think I can't kill you now.
Just need 6s. Give me a 6 or 2. I got 1.
You did get 1.
5 die. I can die
You could have died, actually.
if I crit fail the
Oh, some intimidating presence.
morale. Yeah. For the viewers at home, if you're following along and doing the +1, -1 math here, I need a 12. But as long as I don't roll a 3
Yes.
on this die,
Yes.
this unit stays alive for now.
for now.
Here we go.
I fucking won, baby! That's all that matters.
That's the 10th point, and that's the game, sir.
GG, Scott.
GG.
Scott and I play a lot of A Song of Ice and Fire, and oftentimes it really is just us clashing into each other.
Normally when Curtis and I play Song of Ice and Fire, he's playing Targaryen, and he is often the aggression tempo setter, and I kind of react to what he's doing sometimes because of the maneuverability he has over my army.
This game, I feel like I spent a lot of time like instead of just fighting back and re-engaging, I've spent a lot of time retreating onto objectives and, you know, maybe like slightly pivoting here or there, or like, you know, doing a lot of shifty little maneuvers that allowed me to gain points where otherwise I wouldn't have been able to.
If I had known what I know now, I would have been way more aggressive on turn 2, just sending one of my big 7-point units down into his units, letting him die, and then resurrecting them while they're being all tied up, hopefully scoring points and earning a little bit of a lead.
I felt like I was kind of like on my game when it came to my positioning. I say that though, as I used Bastard's Girls for nothing all game and my spearmen didn't get to sit on an objective. So I definitely could have deployed better, but I was pretty happy with my decision making.
The show is called Kill Your Friends, but turns out today I'm the one being killed.
It's hard to love someone who is constantly beating you, but if I'm being honest, Curtis is one of the most genuine people that I've ever met in my life.
Scott and I, we've been friends for as long as I can remember. He's always been someone that I can rely on, that I know that he'll bring me joy just being around him.
No one will ever make you feel more heard and like they care about what you're saying in a conversation more than Curtis.
Now that we kind of have this thing between us, this wonderful song that we share, it's just been I don't even know how to put words to it. It's been something that I cherish, and I'm very grateful that I have these experiences with Scott.
He has the time of day to hear anyone and everyone out, and honestly, that is an amazing trait in a friend.
Did you lambaste me? I think I did quite the opposite.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. This was a super long one, so it means a lot to me that you're here right now. You probably have already guessed it, but this battle report was an insane amount of work, from painting an entire army, to finding a commission service to paint the other one, to playing practice games, to filming and editing and shooting the interviews and shooting little insert shots and making a bunch of animations. There was so much work and love that went into this video. And if you appreciate it, I would really love it if you could share this video with your friends or someone you think might like it. Subscribe to the channel. If you have some money to toss around, picking up one of these awesome Kill Your Friends t-shirts or anything else on my web store. It really would mean a lot to me, and also would go toward the future production of more Kill Your Friends videos. I have a fully painted Age of Sigmar army that's just waiting for an opponent. If you like this video a lot, I have another one that's edited in a very similar style, playing a different game that I love a lot, and you'll find that link down in the description below. That's it for this one, guys. Sorry it came out a little bit later than I intended it to. It was a lot of work to get done, and people kind of shut down during the holiday season, so I got a little bit slowed down there. But it's out, and I'm happy with the video, and I hope you are too. Subscribe or die! And most importantly, don't forget to... my